Hi everyone, Adam here, and this is what I watched for April. Just a quick overview of the movies I saw that month. These are either first time watches or things I saw at the cinema. Alright, so on the 4th, I watched Death of a Unicorn. Here's a synopsis. A father and daughter accidentally hit and kill a unicorn while en route to a weekend retreat, where his billionaire boss seeks to exploit the creature's miraculous curing abilities. It's okay. The unicorns sometimes look good, sometimes they look a bit, um, well, janky, I guess. But it does have its funny moments. Will Poulter does a really good job as a complete jerk. But the cast is excellent in this, to be honest. And it is a funny concept, taking mythological creature and turn them into, well, horror characters. And there is some decent gore in this, I'll give it that. I mean, it is fun, if not great, but I did enjoy it. On the 6th of April, I watched Novocaine. This is the movie with Jack Quaid and Amber Midthunder. The synopsis is: when the girl of his dreams is kidnapped, everyman Nate turns his inability to feel pain into an unexpected strength in his fight to get her back. I actually found this to be a lot of fun. Does a pretty good job of mixing comedy and action, and Jack Quaid does a great job. And there's some really good action scenes, fight scenes. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good action comedy worth checking out. On the 12th of April, I watched Shark Exorcist 2 Unholy Waters. This is a sequel nobody really asked for. I saw the original, it was terrible, and I wanted to watch the second one out of curiosity. And here's the so-called storyline. Shark Exorcist flesh-eating demon shark is back. That's a mouthful. This time, no one is safe, specifically the priest who swears to stop Hell's ultimate evil. It's like hell watching that movie. Everything about this was bad. Special effects are bad, the acting's bad, the direction's bad. A lot of it is just filler. It's not even so bad, it's fun, it's just bad. Everything bad. In case you don't realize, I think this movie's bad. On the 13th, I watched The Amateur. This is with Rami Malek. Here's a synopsis. After his life is turned upside down, his wife is killed in a London terrorist attack. A brilliant but introverted CIA decoder takes matters into his own hands when his supervisors refuse to take action. I thought this was okay. I mean, it's interesting to take a character who's more of a office geeky type character, and he wants to get revenge on his bad guys, but he's hesitant to do it. He's hesitant to use a gun, so he has to use his smarts. I just put this down to okay, although Rami Malek does a pretty good job as an unlikely action hero, but it's just okay. A couple of decent action set pieces, but it's not great in my opinion. On the 18th, I watched Drop. Violet, a widowed mother on a first date in years, arrives at an upscale restaurant where she is relieved that her date, Henry, is more charming and handsome than she expected. But the chemistry begins to curdle as Violet begins being irritated and then terrorized by a series of anonymous drops to her phone. Yeah, so this is an okay thriller. Yeah, so like she's on a date and she keeps getting messages. If they don't do what she says, they'll kill her son. Well, she's always on a blind date without telling him what's going on. And like a lot of people have said, that character must be the most patient character, the man on the date, ever. Most people would have left probably after about the 10-minute mark. I mean, she's in a stressful situation, but you would just think she was crazy. It's okay. I think there's an interesting concept, but it's just okay. I mean, the performances were good. On the 22nd, I watched Sinners. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. Yeah, originally this one flew under the radar for me, but then I kept hearing people talk about how it's really good, and I didn't know there was a supernatural element until later on when I looked at the synopsis on IMDb when it said supernatural horror. So I thought I'd check it out. Sure most of you seen this or haven't, but yeah, this is quite a good movie. It's a slow burn in the first half, but the second half it gets really good with some good performances. Michael B. Jordan is usually always pretty good. Uh, Miles Caton, who's a young actor, he was a standout as well. But pretty much everyone does a really good job in this. Haley Steinfeld. Yeah, so this is a good one. Goes in a direction you didn't know about it that you wouldn't think it does, but it works. On the 24th, I watched Until Dawn. This is a movie very, very, very loosely based on the video game. Okay, here's a synopsis. Every night, a different nightmare. 1 year after her sister Melanie mysteriously disappears, Clover and her friends head into the remote valley where she vanished in search of answers. Exploring an abandoned visitor center, they find themselves stalked by a masked killer and horrifically murdered one by one, only to wake up and find themselves back at the beginning of the same evening. I will say, if you expect this to be like the video game, you're going to be pretty disappointed. But I kind of like they didn't exactly copy the video game. There are elements. There is Peter Stormare, who was in the video game, pretty much playing the same character. But you know what? I didn't mind this. It's kind of fun. Some decent practical effects. And I think the young cast did pretty well. It is well made too, I'll give it that. But I know some people have called this the worst movie of the year. I don't think it's that bad. I mean, I was still kind of entertained by it. On the 25th, I watched South Park, Not Suitable for Children. This is one of their, what they call them, TV events. One of the South Park movies. Here's the synopsis. Want to get the girls? You need cred. After it's discovered that a teacher at South Park Elementary has an OnlyFans page, Randy is compelled to take a closer look at the seedy underbelly of the world of online influencers. Uh, yeah, it's kind of what you'd expect from South Park. With all South Park, they seem to be saying something, especially. They have a character called Logan LaDouche, I think it was, based on, I think if you know the internet, you know who that's meant to be based on. It did. I did find it funny. I mean, I think South Park has probably been consistently good for the past few years. And seeing Randy start his own OF page, that's pretty funny too. Yeah, so it's a decent South Park TV movie. I mean, if you like South Park, you'll like this. On the 26th, I watched Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. Sure, well, most Star Wars, well, all Star Wars fans would have seen this one. The evil Darth Sidious enacts his final plan for unlimited power, and the heroic Jedi Anakin Skywalker must choose a side. Of course, this was released for its 20th anniversary. This is a fun. I think this is the best out of the prequels, with Ian McDiarmid as Palpatine, giving a great performance. I think, yeah, of course, 20 years old. Some of the effects have dated. Some still look pretty good. Some of the dialogue with most Star Wars movies is a bit cheesy, but come to expect it. But it was fun seeing it on the big screen again. On the 27th, I watched a movie called Dead Sea. Here's a synopsis. Survival has its price. Stranded in the open sea after a fatal accident, a young woman and her two friends are rescued by a fishing vessel captain unaware that the ship harbors a chilling secret. Basically, the ship's captain deals in black market body transplant type of things. It's well made, but it's not terribly exciting. It should be. It should be more suspenseful than what it is. Well, I don't. Although I thought the lead actress did a pretty good job. Gave a pretty good performance. What was her name? Isabel Gravett. But it's one of those movies that has potential, but didn't seem to work. Yeah, and that's everything I watched in April. Let us know, have you seen any of these and what did you think? Like, comment, subscribe. I'm Adam, and I'll see you again soon.